Hello, and welcome again to another episode of Dave Trippin' Tape Suited Up Edition. It's not what I would usually wear, but if you watched one of the previous videos, I was talking about make those impressions early on, and I had a lot of intro classes, and for the first time, I want to appear fakely professional, because we all know that's not what I am. But on the topic of intro lessons, I thought that this could still be useful because I did my intro lessons now, but I think, and I've talked to a few people, that they have yet to do their intro lessons within this week, within the next week. And so if I might offer a few tips and tricks beyond what their training would be, this could be useful for them. So I was thinking of a few different things that I enjoy doing that make the time go more quickly, that make the students more engaged, this, that, and the other thing. So first and foremost about making a good intro lesson is to be aware of the fact that, this is kind of like cutting me off here, if I move back, yeah, that's good, is to be aware that no two intro lessons are the same in the basic fact that depending on the teacher whom you're working with, they're going to assign you a different period of time. And from my previous schools, in which case I had two, as opposed to now that I have the one. At the one school, they wanted me to do like a brief 10 to 15 minutes, and in the other school, they wanted me to take the entire 50 minutes. And so be aware of that it's going to change between the schools that you have, and so don't necessarily obsess to begin with over creating some huge lengthy thing, if only to chop the thing into a third of what the original length was. Feel it out at your school. They're going to let you know early on, or when you arrive, bring it up with them, because it's like a 90% chance, probably greater, that you're going to do one of these lessons in your initial class that you attend. So be aware of that, first and foremost. Length may vary. So moving along from that, what are some things that you could basically do? I don't want to give too much direct follow these steps, because a lot of what's fun with an intro lesson is that it's so incredibly freeform. There's no grammar point. There's no specific thing that you need to accomplish by the end of the thing. And so you can do whatever it is that interests you. But I would say one of the main key components that you should bear in mind is that you're teaching English, and if you speak English the entire time, you'll lose the kids pretty quickly, because if you turn this on its head and you think about your own experience, if you've been in one of the staff meetings already, how, unless you've studied your ass off, how little you would understand and how irrelevant that would be to you. So you want to use a lot of picture prompts. If ever you're going to talk about a hobby, you want some sort of associated picture to go along with that. If you're going to talk about your country, have a flag. Pictures, basically, is a simple way of saying what I'm saying, is come prepared with some pictures if you want to talk about a particular topic or interest that you have. And it's cool too, because maybe you have some cool pictures and it's the simplest thing in the world to come across, right? And you can laminate those, bring them into the classroom. Next to that, I would say maybe the most important thing that you can do, and easiest way to engage the kids, is if you're going to talk about how old you are, maybe ask some of the kids how old they are at the same time. And if you have one of these longer sessions, it's going to occupy a little bit more time. And as opposed to, like I say, you speaking the whole time, your students can speak. And you can also get a very quick sense of the level of the class in this way. Because if you ask students without going, how old are you? Saying, how old are you? Or giving them a fair chance at it, you'd be surprised. Like, you'd think that would be so easy. I was in third grade class today, but some of the kids were kind of like, what's he saying? And so you can know immediately that this person's going to need a little more help, maybe a little further behind than other kids. So it's a good way to figure that out. And oddly enough, the less you speak, the better, because when you speak, unless it's a very, very carefully coached language that you're using, not much of it are they going to understand. We speak with a great deal of complexity without realizing that, because it's our native language. Of course we do. So you can use that opportunity. I would also say, not only that, if you have something you want to talk about yourself, a great couple like basic introductions that you can do are things that are great guest questions. Again, this is going to engage the students. It's going to get them talking. And it's fun. It's fun because if they get something wrong, you can have a little fun with it. For example, today, one of the first questions, like I just talked about age, I didn't tell them what my age is. I said, why don't you guess what my age is? Take a guess. And for the kid who says, oh, you look like you're 23, then you can like laugh and go, oh, thank you so much. Have some fun with them. Unless, of course, that is your age, in which case it simply is. Or if somebody like guessed way over your age, then you can joke around and be like, oh, what? You're so mean. Like, I'm obviously lower than that. And it's all engaging. It's an opportunity to have you interact as opposed to speaking at them the whole time. So if you have a cool way to incorporate questions in, that's really, really cool. Now, if you're already in Japan, you wouldn't so much be able to do this, but if you're seeing this video and you've not yet come to Japan and you're anticipating this, something that you can do as well is bring any kind of souvenirs are a great thing to bring. Be it an actual flag, be it a paraphernalia item of something that is one of your hobbies. A really simple thing that I do, because I didn't plan for this when I initially came, but I still had some Canadian money when I came over, is to bring money into the classroom because that's kind of cool and novel. They probably... Well, many of them had never seen Canadian money before, and ours is like Monopoly money. It's all colorful and playful. So that's a cool thing to do. So souvenirs that you can bring in that are in any way from your country is really, really cool. Or even associated with the thing that you're into. I don't know, barring you're into swords and you bring a sword in the classroom. Don't do that. Don't bring a sword. You could bring in whatever it was that would entertain them. So that's cool. Visual aids. So that's really, really good. That's another thing that you can do. And always asking them questions along the way. Like I said, if you say that you snowboard, then ask them, can you snowboard? Raise your hand. Something to keep them going back and forth with you as much as possible is incredibly useful. And then finally, if you're going to have one of these 50-minute classes, I would suggest if you play guitar, that's something you can do. Like I did that in the first year I was here. I brought my guitar in. That's going to an extreme. You don't have to be the Wunder like teacher when you come. Also, don't, again, like harkening back to other videos, don't worry about creating the perfect intro lesson. Entertain, have fun, and you'll have done the best you can. So you don't need to like compose an original song and all this stuff. But if you want to, go for it. That I'm saying that as well, because it's so free form. That's good to do. But if you want a sort of, like I didn't say I would do at the beginning, but I'll give you an option. If you want that regimented option as opposed to specific advice, something that you can do is create not a quiz at the end that would be answer quiz. Like you need to write a sentence to answer things, but I've found in the past that true or false quizzes are really, really, really useful because it's a 50-50% chance that they can get it right. And if you've thought about what you're going to say in the course of your introduction, then you can create a very quick 10-question true or false by the end. And again, it's a good way to kind of gauge how much they did understand because they'll read this and go, oh, he said he plays guitar, and then it will say I play guitar, true or false, or in their case they do like circle or X marubats, but you can explain that at the beginning if you want to make that clear. If you make a true or false quiz, draw a circle and go equals and then write true. Like that's the easiest thing to do, because when you say true or false, 90% of the time they're not going to have that vocabulary, but if you do the kind of image representation of that, then you're in really good shape. So think about it. That's one thing to do. And for the lazy among us, those willing to admit it, that's also, as much as it's got all those cool things I was talking about that are practical, that are useful, it does occupy a good chunk of time. If you've spoken for something like in half an hour and showed all these things and asked questions, and you still have this 20 minutes at the end to do a quiz where you hand it out, you give them the opportunity to write it, then you mark it after, you check the thing, blah, blah, blah. You're going to easily run through the time that you would need to fill the class. So there it is. I thought about this today as I finished up. I was like, there you go. Practical thing. People about to coming over soon, already here and panicking to figure out what exactly they want to do for their introduction. Those are some things. some things to think about, food for thought. So if you enjoy videos like this, if you're coming to the channel for the first time, thank you for dropping by. Good to see you. Good to meet you for the first time. If you have enjoyed the video, feel so inclined, why not hit that like button wherever it is, smash that like button. If you want to check out more videos in Japan about travel and tours, I've moved more with the channel into like documentary-esque stuff as I get a little better with my editing, which is a little more fun than educational, which is kind of ultimately what I would like to do. But these are good, right? Practical information that can help people with the job that they're doing here is also good. If you want to do something else and you're into games, I'm into gaming, check out my gaming channel. It's right there, The Great Owl. Gone live again. Destiny had an April 12th update. Whole new strike. Nerd. So I'm excited to do that, and I'll be getting that stuff uploaded onto the channel. Fantastic. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. Catch you in the next video. Ciao for now. Peace.